body piercing industry as a whole is heavily invested in looking after the client. That's their main priority. The person who sits in the bedroom or in the kitchen firing holes in people is after one thing and one thing only, and that's money. You've got two options, haven't you? People who are getting pierced, they want a professional. Act like one. What I'm going to be taking you through now is the studio and the basic setup of it. The basics is you need to push towards having a cool, calm environment. If you've got thrash killer music on, it's going to get you nowhere. The client's going to be coming in already hyped up. By the time you get them on the couch, they're just going to sit there and faint straight away before you've even touched them. Calm them down. Have a calm, cool environment, clinical as well, because that's the actual impression and that's the actual standard you need to be striving for. Just to give you a nice guideline around the studio, you're going to be looking at your bench rolls. You've got gloves both sides because at some stage you might actually be working on the other side of the bed. You've got all your jewellery you need at hand, all your forceps at hand, all your needles already pre-packed, sharp spots in your station, and basically anaesthetics if you actually choose to actually use these products. The actual station itself should actually carry every single product you want to carry that piercing out. What we're also going to be teaching you today is a technique we've refined for actually stopping piercings bleeding. How it basically works is like this. When everyone usually does a piercing, the piercing and the jewellery are exactly the same calibre and size, or sometimes people will actually pierce a lot bigger than the jewellery that's necessary to be putting in. Obviously giving your body plenty enough time to let blood come steaming out of it. What we do is actually pierce it. The blade is actually smaller than the actual jewellery we stick in, and the process of putting the jewellery in the cannula is what stretches it. It all sounds very complicated, I know, but it breaks down like this. If you're going to actually do a 1.6mm barred piercing, you're actually going to use a 1.7mm needle. The actual blade in the needle is 1.5mm. When you actually put the jewellery in, slightly stretching the cannula to the size, it'll actually take it up to the size of 1.7, thus sealing the piercing by 0.2mm. It sounds very complicated, but it's a technique that works, we've refined, and it is exceedingly good at its job. You will find that hardly anybody will bleed. Right, I'm going to show you this technique a bit more close up and a bit more refined. Taking a 1.7mm needle and a 1.6 piece of jewellery. When the piercing is actually carried out, you actually reintroduce the needle, slightly withhold it back onto itself, so that that's there acting as a strengthener for the actual process. Put the piece of jewellery in the end. As you can see, it's slightly, very smally enlarged the area. Withdraw the needle, discard it, run it through, and you'll find that it will actually seal the piercing. What we're now going to do is do 2 eyebrow piercings and actually demonstrate this for you. As you can see here, we've got 2 piercings, 2 eyebrows, exactly the same piercings. I've got over here, I've an orange, over here I've got a grey. First thing we'll do is we'll stick the orange piercing in. As you can see, we're already in a situation where we need to control bleeding straight away. Client wants to actually hold that. And just jumping in front of the camera. If you could just take the patch off for me. There you go. It doesn't take much to actually work out the difference in the actual style and the techniques and how it actually works and benefits the client as well as your studio. Right, there you go. The actual technique is exceedingly well proven just with that example that we did. There are a couple of actual differences in certain piercings where you can and can't use this. The only one we've ever found is navel piercings. There is a great reduction in actual bleeding in regard to this piercing anyhow. So personally, I would recommend an orange. Your client will dance all over the bed, and the concept of trying to do refined, stylised work with someone who's trying the best to actually get out the door while still getting pierced is probably not the best way to actually go forward. Also, the tongue piercing. It's not a problem with using this technique with tongue piercings. The only thing you do need to remember is, because it's that tight and it tightens the piercings up, you do need to tell the client that if they actually abuse the piercing over the next couple of days, excessive talking, drug abuse, etc, etc, which you shouldn't be doing anyhow, but clients are clients, then what will actually happen is the tongue will go black and blue. No, you haven't hit anything major, it's just the fact that the muscle cannot go through its normal activities. Right, what we have here is your client. We're just going to run you through some of the basic piercings that are available on the market. There are some other ones, but this particular client carries a fair arraignment of them. You've got the eyebrows with rings, eyebrows with bars, both sides of a nose pierced. You've got your labrets at the bottom. You've also got some extreme lip piercing at the top. On the side here, you've got an industrial, inner conch, daith at the back there, tragus, tunnels and various other rings. On the side here, you've got a lot of scaffolding work, tragus, rings and tunnels again. Internally, we've got a random assortment of tongue piercings as well. Right, what we're going to be doing now is your basic nipple piercing. One of the most common mistakes with this actual piercing is to actually mark it too far back. What you find this does is prolongs healing and also causes too much skin trauma in the particular area. The marking should actually just be positioned just where the nipple actually raises itself up and starts to insinuate itself. At this particular time, obviously we're working on a male. If it's for a female, there's 2 points of view to take. One of the best recommendations is to ask the client whether it's actually for the beach or for the bedroom. If it is actually for the bedroom, what you need to do is to lie the actual piercing down. The reason being is, the actual breast is a tissue on its own, and it moves around in its various positions that it lies in. If it's marked up when it's actually lying in the lying down position, it will be perfectly straight for that particular purpose. When they finally sit up, you're going to find that it's a very slight twisting on the actual breast itself when it finds its natural place of sitting, in which case you might get a slight amount of differentiation within the levelings of the bars. Obviously, this works vice versa as well. Right, I've already cleaned the particular nipple down with a stirret, and as you can tell, I've already marked it up nice and easily, so I've got 2 nice level marks either side, just as the actual nipple starts to insinuate, as I was talking about previously. Right, getting prepared to pierce. First thing, same again, always test the actual tension of your clamps themselves. You need an actual firm grip of the nipple, but in the same breath, you don't really want to be crushing it. Always have a check you've got the marks where you actually want them to be. And then you need to start to prepare to think about piercing yourself. Coming towards it with the actual needle itself. Same again, place the needle on one side, check your level as you come out. There you go, nice easy clean run. Take the needle out and withdraw the clamps itself. Coming back to the nipple with the needle itself. Put the jewellery in at the end. Withdraw the needle and discard. Slightly grasp the skin, keeping the pressure underneath, and run the jewellery through, nice and easy. Take the cannula off. And all we need to do now is just place the ball in position. Level the piercing up, and there you go, you have your basic nipple piercing. With regards of aftercare, what I personally recommend, clean both sides with witch hazel or salt water, making sure that they actually clean any debris off both sides of the ring. This also works if, shall we say, the nipple piercing is being used for entertainment value as well. You do have to clean it spot on.